Can you refresh the page and check? And can someone check Facebook? Yeah, we're live. Hi, Ifu.
Hi, Pooja. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm really delighted to see you.
I'm delighted to see you too. Just, I think about 10, 12 weeks later, but it almost seems so long ago.
I just arrived home from a long trip.
I know you just arrived home, but meeting you feels like home.
Very nice. Yeah. Glad to
Oh,
see you.
goodness. We have a lot of
Yeah.
people who are joining us live on Facebook and on YouTube, both platforms. And I thought it
Okay.
must be a good idea to start by introducing you and telling everybody who you are and how our introduction began and our journey has been going forward up until now and further ahead, right?
Wonderful. Right.
To all the audience who's watching us here today, we have Efu Nyaki with us. Efu Nyaki is a Tanzanian born healer and a member of the Maryknoll Sisters of Dominic, a Catholic missionary community. She specializes in trauma healing and family constellation both. A faculty member in somatic experiencing and the caretaker and founder of AFIA, a holistic healing center specializing or focusing on women and their families in Brazil. Trained as a science teacher before becoming a healer, working internationally, Ifu travels across the globe to India, Egypt, South Korea, China, and many more countries, spreading the knowledge of somatic experiencing and family constellation, integrating family medicine into her practice and helping people understand not just what she has learned, but also what she has inherited from her family and, where she belongs is something that makes Ifu so special. Ifu has just written a book called Healing Trauma Through Family Constellation and Somatic Experiencing, which is one of the greatest gifts, I think, to learn about Ifu and also about how she intends to, spread this work forward forever and ever. And it's such a great opportunity to have studied under Ifu and to be associated with her in also organizing these trainings and ensuring more and more people have an opportunity to learn from her. Thank you so much, Ifu, for accepting this offer to teach alongside with the White Elephant and bringing this knowledge to more and more people, allowing this healing to reach more and more people in the world. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I'm happy to be what I am today and what I continue to become.
And I think we must say and offer our gratitude to all your ancestors who made you who you are today.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
also, I am very grateful to my ancestors. And when you thank them, I think they are dancing.
I would love to have seen, I would love to visualize that. It's such a feast. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Ifu. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So we have a few questions that we've lined up in this
Yeah,
interaction with you, in this discussion with you, that we thought
yeah,
would be really interesting for people to hear and understand more. Coming from you, I think it would land so much more better for them, right? Would
yeah,
it be
yeah.
okay for you to start off by maybe telling people what family constellation is in itself, like, to briefly explain to everybody what it is and, why they must be doing this training, why it's so special and stands out from all other therapies that, we are familiar with or we know of.
Yep. Okay. Family constellation is this modality of healing that was begun by Bert Hellinger from Germany in the last 50 years or so. It's fairly new compared to and other modalities that have been around. Well, Bert Hellinger really never claimed that he started this because he learned more from other cultures, indigenous cultures, and from the nature
Wow.
about the way of life. So this methodology is based on how you live every day, how you relate with one another, how you relate with nature. And therefore, he drew out of this one thing which is very important, which is called the orders of love. And through these orders of love, we learn how to relate with one another when you start looking children to their parents, to their ancestors, and so forth. Couples,
Yes.
peers. How do we relate and how our attitude plays around that? In a very simple way, Beth Hellinger could actually bring it into a place of understanding that you can resolve so many conflicts of suffering, of years of suffering, repeating problems from the ancestors, problems and conflicts from the ancestors, from the parents, and in our life today that make us suffer. That when you work with family constellation system therapy, you are able to heal all of that, probably in one session. It is amazing in a very short time. Some people might have to come back over and over again, but some people just one session, you resolve so many conflicts that have its roots way back there from the ancestors to where we are today. So it's just a very beautiful method.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
So basically,
go
Yeah,
ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
Yeah. What I wanted to say is that by understanding the orders of love, which I might talk about it a little later, by understanding the orders of love, immediately love begin to flow, and we all relate better with one another. So just remember that. Somebody might want to ask for me to elaborate that the orders of love.
Yes. Yes. That's interesting. It's just amazing how sometimes, with time and generations passing by, sometimes we lose out on so much important and I think sacred information because of maybe a loss of explanation or a loss of communication. And how Bert Hellinger has observed so many of these cultures and put this together that can make it so systemic and yet healing, not just informative, but also healing. That's
exactly
so
beautiful. You said it well.
Yes. And I think the best part about this is that we don't have to go in cycles, just like we talk about trauma is so repetitive and we get in a loop. Family constellation healing not just helps break that loop, but also the idea of healing, where so many times we think of healing as a repetitive cycle of going and seeing our practitioners time and again or every week. But family constellation makes it so simple and quick that it also breaks that chain of assumption that, this is something that's going to be an ongoing thing for me. But, it breaks it. It's done.
You are really very right. And I mean, I like to give examples because people understand better what we mean.
Yes.
I have clients who have been going to therapy for 40 years. Some clients start when they were adolescent and the parents put them in therapy and they continue going therapy once a week until they are in their 60s. So that is 40 years later. They come to me, they open one family constellation. And they say, what? Where was I? How couldn't I meet this? Just one. It's clear what the problem is just with one session because we heal by awareness also. So that's it. I mean, I'm just giving that example as an extreme, but there are many examples. So you are right that what we cut this repetitive circle of like, you have to go to the therapy to be a person, to know how to live life. No, you don't. You might need like this family constellation system therapy, one session to remind you, to help remember that you belong, to help remember that you have somebody who came before you, to
Yes.
have remember that our attitude make us suffer. That's all you need. And then you move on with life again. So
Wow.
it is beautiful.
And yeah, just like you said, this is the other beauty that I really hold with me about family constellation and also maybe somatic experiencing for that matter, that we're talking about connection, we're talking about healing, we're talking about awareness, we're talking about grounding, we're talking about containing and embodying those things than talking about the things that bother us,
Right.
than talking about the things that cause us the problem. Like you say all the time, change your story because that's where you're stuck.
You. Thank you. You are good. You're a good student, a good practitioner. You have learned it so well. I love it that you're organizing, you're inviting more people because you have got it right.
You're a good teacher, Ifu. That's why I have it.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, yeah. Same here.
How do you think family constellation as a facilitator training could help people who are already practitioners or, therapists of different kind? They could be body workers, psychotherapists, doctors, whoever. A lot of people have this question, why should we do this? Or how would it really add to our practice already?
Yes. Thank you. We human being, we inherited this from our evolutionary process, from our development, that cortical brain, it's more developed. So thinking and rethinking and telling our stories is what have been emphasized quite a bit, in our lives. So we never had this opportunity to stop and notice what is happening in our body, what is happening with our emotions, and take care of it. Most of it's just kind of trying to tell the story, this happened and that happened, and actually blaming others. And many story, and then when you go, even the doctors or teachers, wherever you go, you find that people tell the story, and sometimes we even blame them, like, oh, they are doing the same thing. Or, the doctors you go, they do prescription to get your medication right away. The teachers will discipline you. The psychology might listen and tell you your problem is this and that, but that's what we got. Now, I'm not saying those methods are wrong. I say that is fine, even with the doctors and the teachers and the psychologists and the craniotherapists and all of these modalities that we have, they're all wonderful. And they have helped us and they continue to help us. But we all continue to grow and see what else we can add into this. So when you use family constellation, what you are adding into that is to help people, first of all, to realize that they belong. And you're not the one, you as a therapist, as a doctor, as a teacher, you're not the one to carry them, helping them. You are reminding them to know that they belong to a system and their well-being comes from their system. And they need to recognize their system, the energy, the force of life that comes from that system. And we lose that when we keep thinking of all the negativity that we have from our own relationship, from our connection, from our entangled relationships and connections. So when we bring this concept of family constellation system therapy in the doctor's office, in the teacher's place, classroom, and the other kind of therapies, we are just putting additional information to our clients to understand that, first of all, could they find peace within the place where they live, where they come from, where they are connected. And then we add everything else we have that we are sharing with them. And that's really bring a lot of wellness. This heal the conflict. Because most of our conflicts are in how we relate with our parents. We go to the therapy. Tell me the truth, all of you who are out there. What do we go for therapy for? My mother, blah, 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 blah. My father, blah, 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 blah. My grandmother, blah, 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 blah. My sister, my, we all have all these. Yeah. So, yeah, we're talking about them and actually putting all of the responsibilities to them. And the family constellation system therapy comes to remind us no matter what, we have 50% of our contribution. And if we have a 50% and we take our own responsibility, we don't even need to apologize for anything. Or we just need to be responsible and move on and have an attitude of goodness, an attitude of embracing, an attitude of relating and connecting. That's all. So I will invite everybody to incorporate this into their practices because it
Definitely
works.
makes so much sense. Makes so much sense. I think it's so important, even for the practitioner, to remember that their role is not to take care of their clients, but to remind their clients to take care of themselves and to be able to get them to a place where they can take the responsibility for themselves and not even maybe outsource it to the therapist to say, I'm paying you for you to take care of me. Right.
Right.
And that's the core value of family constellation, where we can help them remember that they belong to an already existing system, no matter how it makes them feel just now. There is something more deeper and beyond that makes maybe a reminder of a connection that can, help resolve all the surface tensions that they're most aware of at the moment. And
Yes.
ah,
Yeah. Beautiful.
wow. And I think with the way you explained, I don't think there is any profession that can ever say family constellation may not add to what they're doing. So, it could be a corporate HR, it could be a coach, it could be a business head, it can be anyone, anywhere. And with this system, I think even businesses can grow with this idea
Yes.
of belonging, because
Yes.
even a business needs a system, and without a system nothing can really move to its full potential. And with this awareness, I think we all can get in touch with our powers and really rock it up.
Yeah. Good. That's it. That's it. You said it.
Ah.
Beautiful.
But what are the kind of problems that people usually bring to a family constellation session, Efu? A few things that we understand are like my problems with my parents and this and that, and these are the more commonly or everyday problems that we see. But what are the kind of problems in a more wider base that you would say is something that family constellation can address more, very, very intelligently or very differently from that any other therapy can really offer?
Yes. Yes. Uh, it first of all it helps us to find our place. To
Mhm.
find our place in our family,
Yes.
in our workplace,
Mm-hmm.
with our partners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I find my place in my family of origin, I feel at peace. And
Mm-hmm.
then it takes me to find out my place with my partners. And then it helped me to find my place in my workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And then it helped me to find my place with my friends.
Wow.
We can go on and on. Wherever you go, you belong. So
Mm.
family constellation system therapy help us to feel this element of belonging. And when you belong, you feel grounded.
Mm-hmm.
When you belong, you thrive.
Mm. Yes.
Because when you don't feel you belong, you're like always like lost, always wondering why. But when you belong, you thrive.
Mm-hmm.
You're just at home within yourself and in around you. So these problems, the major problems that people bring, they are around belonging, feeling the essence and the sense of belonging. So we help people to find this belonging place in every situation where they go, and then everything else flow.
Mm-hmm.
We also, with the family constellation system therapy, we help people to reconcile
Mm-hmm.
with their ancestors, So sometimes, we have wars. Let me give an example that
Yes.
explain better.
Yes.
Like, I know, I found this friend of mine who asked for family constellation. She's a friend, and I could help her with the concepts.
Mm-hmm.
But her thing is, I feel so ashamed as a white woman, she said, because my ancestors were terrible by enslaving the Black people. So I feel so ashamed. I feel terrible. I hate them. I don't know. I just don't want to even identify with my ancestors. So, Efu, help me. How can you tell me to open a family constellation to get in touch with the ancestors who have done such a destruction in the world, and wars continue until today. Every time I work with Black people and I see uh they are out, so how the self-esteem has been broken, and the poverty and so much happening, I always blame myself and my ancestors. So reconciliation, I help her to learn how to honor, to reverence her ancestors and whatever they did, but learn how to take the strength from them and do better. But that she is not better than them, but she can do better because she is in a place of evolution.
Yes.
Where the parents were, that's all they knew at that time, the ancestors. But where she is now, she has this awareness that we are all equal, and we all need to belong, and we cannot take another person for granted. You
Yes.
learn that today. At that time, probably it's not what they knew. It was a different era, different time. And we don't know what else. There are
Yes.
many things we don't understand. So don't judge them, but reverence them for giving you everything that you have in your system, your
Yes.
DNA. Let go of their mistakes, because when we hold on their mistakes, we repeat their mistakes. Yeah? Let go of their mistakes. So that, you know what? It is too big to even think about it. I cannot bring it to me. But I honor them, I reverence them, I bow to them, and I let them go. I'm not reverencing their mistake. It's by their essence that is inside of me. And then when you let go of that, you can be grateful for the DNA that you receive, for the strength, for the eyes, for everything you have came from them. So you can be grateful for that. And today, with your new awareness, you can do wonders in the world.
Wow.
It was such a healing for her to reconcile, to begin to talk with her father that she didn't talk to begin to go and visit her mother, to begin to actually imagine how the ancestors look like. I mean, her life's changed completely.
Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine.
I love giving examples because they give the answer completely. I can explain, it's not so clear. Go to the example. And really, this was a life changing to this friend of mine.
Yes, I can imagine because, yeah, I think sometimes when people ask me this question of what are the kind of problems that people bring to family constellation, I say, when you don't find an answer anywhere else, that's where you would get it.
Also, I get that.
When you have a question, you don't know where to take it, that's where you take it. Family
Because
constellation.
totally agree with you. They always said, I have gone everywhere. I have no answer. I've done many sessions in this therapy and that therapy and that therapy. Now I think maybe family constellation might help me. I hear that too. I hear you. Right.
Yeah,
So that's
because sometimes people have such problems that they don't identify with, like, if it's a heart pain, then you go to the cardiologist. If it's trauma, then you can do somatic experiencing. There's usually identified problems and therapies or modalities. But with family constellation, I just always tell people, when you don't know what to do or when you want to deepen with yourself, that's when you do family constellation. And It is
Right.
very, very enhancing. It can be very, very intense. Intense in
Yes.
the meaning of, what you're letting go and what you're also receiving. Because, I think in today's age and time, more than people having a problem of giving, people have a problem of receiving, I feel.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
and
Right.
receiving right from their own parents and ancestors, forget about anybody else, right?
Yeah.
and
Right.
and that's what family constellation can really help you get in touch with, because I remember that I did have maybe a borderline tinge of this problem of always feeling too big to receive, like, oh, I can take care of myself, I got this all, I can manage this fine, I don't need anything, I don't need any help. And then when we did our family constellation sessions, and then it came out that, oh, what do I think of myself, I'm a fool. to,
Right.
yeah.
Right. I'm done. Yeah. 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 Very good. Yeah. And you just mentioned very well there. You know, exactly most of the problems that are very mysterious also, just adding into that. Sometimes people have a lot of accidents that they cannot explain.
Yes.
Translation immediately will help you find the answer. Sometimes people have problems in their homes.
Yes.
Yeah, that death, death that happens very quickly, very fast, and maybe one after another. And
Yeah.
family constellation help to find answer. So, I mean, I was just adding into that, just picking up your word, as you say, many people come when they have no more answer, but people come also when they're like, I'm shocked, but I don't know what to do or where to go because it's something very mysterious. Anything mysterious
Eh,
that nobody can actually even mention
yes.
about the answer. Family constellation will help you. And then you also mentioned about the working place. Sometimes people, working place, there's a lot of conflict. You don't get, no enough money, no, the company is not doing well. All those are the things that we resolve. So I could go on and on in the list answering your question of what kind of problems we bring.
I know.
And then emotional problems. Emotional problems which are connected to the developmental trauma.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard. Emotions are hard to heal because they
Yeah.
keep coming up and over and over and over again. Family constellation that deals so well with emotions. It's really
Can
the
you
best.
name a few emotions when you say emotions? Like, for example, people may be, it's easier to get it for them when we name these emotions more specifically about, with examples, maybe.
Yes, number of examples of emotions that are recurrent emotions is like busting out anger. Like some people have just anger that
Mm,
comes up and they don't know where it's coming from. It's
mm,
all of a sudden I was just like one word, or nobody even speak to me. I woke up angry. I have people who come to me and they tell me they wake up angry. And
mm.
we realized that they were repeating the anger of one of their ancestors. Yeah.
Wow.
Fear, extreme fear. There's nothing. I feel safe. I'm kept well. Everything. I have all the security under the planet Earth. There's fear there. We find the answer. Guilt. People are haunted. I use the word haunted because it's haunt. Like I feel so guilt. I don't know what I think, but there's a guilt that is haunting me. Family constellation system therapy.
I'm a living
Shame.
example of that.
Yeah, yeah. Good. And then we have shame also.
Yes.
Shame is another. So anger, fear, guilt, sadness, shame,
Wow.
and guilt. These are really recurring. They're emotions that they could come up and up again. And you keep working on it and you keep looking for the reason you don't find. Come to family constellation system therapy. Get in touch with Pooja here. She will put you on the list of training and you learn it right away.
Yes. No, I remember and I understand this very well because sometimes emotions could belong to us and sometimes not. It could be something that we're carrying forward because it needs to heal. Something needs to
Yeah.
heal, and that's why it's waiting at the surface, presenting itself time and again, time and again. And
Yes.
and
It keeps
yeah,
repeating. Yeah.
yes. So it's interesting how I'm reminded of so many stories just as we're talking about this. Wow. And why is there so much of a gap between each seminar? I don't know if how many of the audience here knows. So, each of these seminars, each of these trainings, the facilitator trainings are of 5 seminars in total, and each seminar is 3 days long, and they're paced at 6 months once. And a lot of them had these questions about if it's only a 15-day training in total, why not done all together at once? And why
You
is
know,
it paced at this slow? So I thought you would be the better person to answer this.
yes, yes, please. Yes, please. I tell many people, family constellation system therapy, you need to chew it.
Yes.
And you swallow it, and sometimes you get, gases, and then you need time to get all the gases removed in your stomach because family constellation system therapy, it touches into deep, deep trauma. Like we say, like maybe it was not yours. You're carrying something that comes down line. Maybe it is you have 3 generations behind you that you're carrying there, like great, great, great grandfather or grandmother, something, and you're carrying it very unconsciously. So when we discover that, sometimes people get very dizzy. They got dizzy for a number of weeks, you
Wow.
know. But that's why we use somatic experience together with it.
Mm.
We learn this. We teach this together with Dennis Norman. We teach this to slowly with somatic experiencing to minimize the impacts of the powerful energy that we are carrying that was passed on to us without blaming anybody. We're just letting go of it, or we are just giving it back to where it came from. Yeah. So we need time. We need time to chew it and understand it. Yeah. Because you get healed through family constellation system therapy by their awareness. So people's awareness do not come online. I call it coming online. Do not or fall into places
Yeah.
immediately like that. You
Mm.
need time. And in between, you need to get in touch with those people. There's some dreams that comes up. You might hear some other story in between. You might do something. So there's a lot of other things come in between the time we have given that it helps you actually to understand better. So we always ask the students, the participants, to do some work in between. And sometimes we can give supervision classes too, to answer the questions of what has been coming up. We will do that, Pooja, because I think people think that we drop them, and then you come again. No, this is a continuity. So we will mark some of the continuity with supervision classes where you are able to bring in the dreams and all the emotion that might come up in between. Yes, you need time. You need time. For this, I'll give one example. I remember Bert Helling at the beginning of his teaching, he actually said, you can only open one constellation every 10 years.
Wow.
This is how strict he was. Because he knows you just don't keep playing with it,
Yes.
right? Then later on, as he evolved and he knew that people were integrating with other methodologies, he said maybe every 6 months. Then he went down to 3 months. Then actually, eventually, maybe 3 years before he died, he was 90 years old already, 90 years old. He said, Well, maybe take 40 days, like going to the desert, huh? Take 40 days and then you are meditating about it, and then you might come back with another, maybe not the same, but with another element that might rise up. Yeah. So even with the one who taught us from the very beginning, take time because there's a lot of activations that will come up. All right. Maybe this is clear. Just remind me if I didn't explain enough.
No, I think it was a very good explanation, and also that sometimes we forget that time also has a quality of healing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we need to respect and allow that, because otherwise we're not really integrating the entire experience or learning and awareness of it, but we're just technically just ticking off, oh, okay, this is what it was. Oh, okay, this is where it's coming from, but not really embodying that experience to allow that breakthrough to happen maybe.
Yeah.
And like you were mentioning, I think it's really important for everybody to understand that, especially a training like Family Constellation requires a lot of hand holding and a lot of support group, a lot of, belonging, yet again, in different words to say that, when we're working through our biggest, darkest, parts of us to help heal and break through, it's important to understand this concept of connection between the
Right.
seminars, while we also have the time and space for ourselves to be able to learn and go through and experience this change. And with this
Yes.
statement, one of the viewers had this question which said, wouldn't it be important than before a person starts applying Family Constellation to clients, that they would also have to heal themselves first? Because what I'm saying comes from, we can only heal how much we have healed.
Yeah. Yes, that also, but we it's the healing. We cannot think of healing like taking an aspirin and the pain pass right away. Yeah,
Yes.
healing is a process. It is true. We encourage people while we are giving the training. People have opportunity to heal a lot of their cases. Yeah.
Yes.
And also during the time in between, also then you're not attending others yet, or you are attending and use some element of it, but I don't know how can I say that, simultaneously you
Yes.
also become aware. You are sitting with your client and they said something and you go, wow, that's me. So
Mm,
as you are looking for solution together, you also feel healed. Yeah.
yes.
So I'm just saying that we might say, oh my gosh, am I healed yet? Maybe not. So I have to keep going. No, no. With the time of preparation, we will tell you, okay, now I think we want you to practice this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you have to become aware of yourself and healing yourself at the same time healing others. It's
Yes.
a place of holding the vulnerable place of humble
Yes.
and yet of a master.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
You're a master and you are a healer at the same time. I mean, you are being healed at the same time.
correct. What comes to me when I read this question is that, I don't think in the journey of life, any day we can really say we're now healed, like you mentioned, that we could take a decision that now that I feel like I'm healed, I can take clients on. And it's important to understand that as a journey of an individual, healing is constant, while that of a journey as a practitioner, we're helping people as much as we have been helped and we're aware of. And hence both
Right.
these journeys go alongside, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, and they cannot be separated. While we keep
No.
working on ourselves, we help people work with themselves. And
Beautiful.
and that is very, very important for us to remember, that we cannot intertwine the both of them in comparison to each other. Because,
Right.
like you said, many, many times we could be triggered by what clients bring to us. And with the journey of life, maybe a new experience causes us a different experience altogether that we may not have anticipated. So, we cannot really mark ourselves on the journey of healing, but just only feel like onions peeling layers and layers whenever we're
Yeah.
ready.
Exactly. All we need really, it's awareness.
Yes.
Awareness is so important in this process. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
in one of, I think, Peter Levine's books, he says awareness is the key to healing, right? And
Right.
and without awareness, where and what are we really talking about? And yeah, wow. So to just give away a few details of the training to all the viewers, we will be starting a family constellation practitioner training in November, which will be the 8th, 9th, and 10th of November. 3 days training. Each seminar is 3 days long, and it will be a 5 seminar long training. So around 2.5 years before we finish in March 2026, if I'm not wrong. And we will not be having another round of family constellation practitioner training starting anytime before we finish this, because our EFU's dates are all booked and sold, and we had to fight really hard and negotiate really, really a lot to get these dates out. So if any of you are interested in exploring these opportunities of learning family constellation, now is the time, because it's long, long, far away before we have another training. And our idea of having these trainings is that everyone starts from the seminar 1 to seminar 2 and onwards, because as much as each seminar has a different topic that we will be leading and teaching, I think one leads to another, and that is very, very important to have as an understanding before we can learn. I think more complicated topics, to have an understanding of the basics is very, very important. So that is something that we will definitely be having. And about the certification will be from the White Elephant in association with AFIA in Brazil. This is where the certification will be. And now a lot of you had questions about why train with the White Elephant and or with Efu, and in Rishikesh, keeping it all aside from, your everyday practice and life and family and, all of that. And why is it like a retreat? Well, because I think when we are attending to ourselves, it is most important that we stay away from what causes it. And in family constellation, I think we're we're reconnecting and reassociating these relationships in so many different layers and wires, that it's important to spend time with yourself than to be out there available, putting yourself attending to so many things. And I think this workshop as a retreat makes it more healing than just learning, and that is why
Yes.
is special.
Totally agree with you. We just in my trainings, I don't just give the cortical brain stuff. Really, it's all the process of healing at the same time as training. So as you're healing, you need time, you need space for yourself. You
Yes.
need to bring your everything together here. It's beautiful. That space is really, really healing space itself. I will
The
encourage.
location that we have chosen in Rishikesh is the Oro Valley Ashram, which is just on the borders of the Rajaji National Park. It's big and massive, very open, very spacious, on the banks of River Ganges, making it very, very resourceful in the nature, allowing you to give yourself that space, that time, and also to be able to reconnect and, build a connection and a community with your other participants, because it's important to have a community that understands these kind of healing, because otherwise you might start to feel very lonely with so much information also sometimes. So this community can make it so much more integrative, supportive, and grounded in itself, just knowing that there are so many people here, all of them in their journeys, all of them with their time and spaces, makes it really beautiful. And I'll
Yes.
tell you why this training becomes more special with Efu. There are a lot of people who offer family constellation practitioner trainings in India, across the globe. But for me, why Efu stands out is her understanding and her living the talk. She just does not teach. She lives what she teaches. And with any of you having even the smallest of experience or an exchange with her would agree with me 100%. I do not have to vouch for this. Anybody who's had an exchange with Ifu can vouch for this. And I think this makes it incredible for us to learn by observation how to live these learnings than to just learn them and preach them. And yeah.
Nice. Thank you for saying that. I didn't say that about you. So thank you. Thank you so much.
It has been my honor and pleasure in the last 8 years of me having known you to really being able to grow into this person that I am with all that knowledge and learning and experiences that we've had with you, Ifu. Thank you so much. It's been my
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much. And like, I'm also very, very proud of you. See what you have done with what you have learned from somatic experiencing and family constellation system therapy. Now, kind of helping others to also have a space for learning in such a beautiful way. Really, I'm amazed. You are young with so much knowledge already and so much wisdom. And I am very proud of you. And I'm very proud of your mother and your father.
Thank you
I'm
so
happy and
much.
grateful to all of them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ifu. It's been all of your presence in my life that makes me who I am today. Thank you. So, we have our family constellation training. And, to tell you all a little bit, before I tell you all a little bit about the training, why my intention of having these trainings come up from running a clinic is because, for a lot of you who know or not know, we run a clinic in Bangalore called the White Elephant Clinic based out of Indranagar. And it's been about 4 years now that we've been running the center to only realize that the need for these therapies is so high. It's immense, but the amount of practitioners that we have available is is not even peanuts, right? Is not really accessible for people. So just with maybe one or two practitioners or the number of practitioners we can count on our fingertips in the city makes it really sad for me to see the reach and the demand not meeting. And that's when we decided that we should not just be running a clinic, but also offering these trainings where we can have more and more people learn these trainings and help heal people. And that's why one of our intentions with signing up for these trainings always remains an extensive Google form where people fill up their intentions of learning the training. And we always focus more about having people who want to spread this work than with people who just intend to learn them for their own use. And Family Constellation has been special to us, and with a lot of effort, we have been finally able to put this training together. We will be starting November 8th to the 10th, the first seminar. Registrations close on August 15th or before when we reach our 50 mark. 50 spots in the training, because we do not intend to have more than that. We're already more than halfway through. So if you really intend to want to participate in these trainings, then please sign up soon, because the last date may not be the last date. And each seminar is priced at 43,660 rupees, inclusive of GST per seminar. And we take payments only per seminar. We do not have a package or a full, payment options available. We can help you with your visas if you're an international student. If you're from the country, then I don't think there's a lot of formality at all. So these are a few details of the training. If you all have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on any of the platforms, on Instagram, Facebook, on Google. Our contact details will be mentioned here below. And if for any of you who want to experience what a session would feel like, feel free to log into our website and book a session for yourself. Because sometimes when you explore what it feels like as a client, it can help you decide on if this is something that you would like to learn and practice.
Beautiful.
Anything, Ifu, you'd like to add before we call this a session?
What I would like to add is that if you are here, you are listening, and you have somebody you can share, know that there's a reason for it, really. Because I think not too many, I'll say that nothing happened accidentally. Why are you hearing this? Why are you hearing the call? Because there's some need that are there. So I always followed. I said, well, why am I here? Why do I need to hear this? When I'm reading about something, I always like, yeah, I mean, let me go deeper and find out. So don't waste the opportunity, because there is a reason why you were brought here at this moment, at this date, at this time. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Ifu. That was so wonderful discussing with you these few questions that people had and making this evening so wonderful for all of us. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we'll see you soon for the case consult, right? Is it the 8th? Yeah.
Yes, the 8th of July, we will be having a group supervision with the somatic experiencing cohort 1 students, right?
Yeah.
And that is what we're discussing just now. So
Yeah.
all of you who know or don't know, we also have a somatic experiencing training, and maybe we will have another round of discussion with Ifu to talk more about somatic experiencing then.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned, all of you, for more information coming up soon. Until then, take care, keep healing.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yeah.